Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. Tonight is New Year's Eve in Asia, I guess. So, welcome you all. Let's see. Question from yesterday from YouTube.
Yes, we have a question from Ninja Checkmate. He asks, if you reach the Pure Land, then are you free of all thoughts?
When you reach the Pure Land, are you free of all thoughts? No, you're not. Okay. Tonight, as promised, we'll be discussing a question, providing answers to a question that was posed from Korea. It's about the four unlimited minds in English. And it arose from a video that was made of the bowing monks, if you will. Master HsuanHua's second team of bowing monks has Heng Chao, who now Heng Chao became returned to lay life. He's now a professor at Graduate Theology Union or something like that near Berkeley University. So these two people are the more famous bowing team from Master HsuanHua. They're so-called experts in bowing or repentance, Dharma from my late Chinese master. And they're very famous because at the end I listened to, I think it's part of the Chanchi tapes or somewhere. Master HsuanHua mentioned that Heng Shu bowed for 2.5 years from Los Angeles to the city, 10,000 Buddhas. He got close to San Francisco, and then he realized he was enlightened. This is from his mouth, not me, okay? So it's public knowledge. I'm not breaking any secrets here, okay? Reveal any secrets. But so Master HsuanHua says that monk became enlightened, and then he says, what happened to the reception? This is such a earth-shattering event. How come it's no party, no banners, there's no band, there's nothing at all. It's empty, the road is empty. After all the hard work, 2.5 years of hard work, no one cares. Because it's not a big deal. If it were a big deal, would have been people would have made such a big fuss. So anyway, so later they reached the city of 10,000 Buddhas, and then the Master HsuanHua made them continue to bow. And they said, "Is that all?" So Americans are very hard to teach. Excuse me, white people. So anyway, so this later so Heng Shu is the main bowing actor, and Heng Chao is the support person. He's the one with the kung fu and the martial arts, but he's more of the driver of the car, and then support, making sure the meal is ready so that they could both eat on time and so forth. So. And so later, Heng Chao returned to lay life, became Martin Van Hoven, and he went to, I believe, University of Wisconsin Buddhology program. It's like, I think it was rated #1 of Buddhology department in the whole country. So very, very famous. Got a PhD there, and he went back to Berkeley and taught at Graduate Theology Union, where Heng Shu eventually obtained a PhD as well. So these are very, very famous. Heng Shu is a rock star of Mahayana, and Van Hoven is like a rock star of Mahayana professors. So they both outstanding individuals, of course. Okay? All right, let's watch the video. Oh, how ugly this is. You should reduce this to a symbol. I don't know if Google Slides allows you to do that, because it clutters. This is audio-video presentation, so this is visual aid. You're supposed to help with the presentation, not take away from it or confuse people, and then you leave it like that. And people, the audience will be just looking and reading that instead of listening to the information. All right, so play the tape, please. Thank you.
I take out the axe and I give it to him. I said, but Sheriff, I got to protect you. He says, I will give you a secret Dharma that you can use to protect. I thought, wow. From the beginning, where the first day before we began at YongHua Monastery in LA, Master Hua told him, okay, as Dharma protector, he said, you may not use your fists or your feet. You may not use your martial arts. And Marty's a black belt in Taekwondo and other things. He said, as soon as you throw the first punch or the first kick, you are no longer my disciple. And so Marty had actually considered putting a hatchet.
No, I did.
And he had a hatchet.
I had an axe
in his bag.
When we were planning this, we were in the monastery in the back. I was still a layman. He was a monk. So my idea of this pilgrimage is, something out of, living in the wild, back to nature. And so I go and I get all this really good sleeping bags, the latest titanium cooking ware with the stove and all this sort of things. And I bring it in, and we're in the back room and we're planning. Hung Shui's go, oh, that looks good. That's great. It's good. And then Master Hua comes in and he looks at it. What are you doing? Well, we're getting ready for the pilgrimage. He says, nah. You should take anything that nobody wants. Don't take anything that anybody would even turn an eye second. Oh, yeah. So we didn't. Got all this great stuff. I would say within the 4th week of the pilgrimage, it was all gone. So all those nice things that we got were completely stolen. So that was one instruction we didn't listen to and learn the hard way. But then the other instruction, I thought, Hung Shui, the holy monk is going to make this vow, and I, Go-Ting, will be his Dharma protector, and I will use my martial arts to save him from all these villains that descend, like Xuanzan and Monkey. Here we go. And I think, I got my martial arts, but I should have a weapon too. And so in the monastery, there was this nice little axe. And I thought, well, just in case, because if I just hold that, it'll threaten the Hell's Angels away, right? And so we're ready to go out the door, and the Master Hua says, where are you going? We're going to go. No, he says, give me the axe. I said, what axe? He said, you know what axe. You can, blah, 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 blah. No, you can't go out the door. I take out the axe and I give it to him. I said, but Sheriff, I got to protect you. He says, I will give you a secret Dharma that you can use to protect. I thought, wow, here's the Kung Fu movie. Now, grasshopper, I'm going to give you the secret. I thought, this is classic. The Chinese master transmitting to me the secret iron fist or one finger, da-da-da. He says, it's called the 4 unlimited minds. I thought, yeah, that's a very clever expression, like the lotus flower and whop. And he says, and I said, what are they, Master? And he says, kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. I go, what? I'm sure it's translating. I said, maybe you got it wrong.
Did he say equanimity?
I'm sure it's translating. I said, maybe you got it wrong. It's fist, hand, and kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. He said, if you use those 4...
Equanimity. I see. So it's not the Korean who translated wrong, it's Heng Shui who translated wrong. Okay, I got it now. Of course, at the time, he didn't know any better.
4 unlimited minds.
Yes. 舍,
What's the Chinese word mean, Master?
We can talk about it later.
Okay.
But this character right here, 慈悲喜捨. So here is the equanimity.
Compassion, joy, and equanimity. He said, if you use those 4 unlimited minds, you will never be in danger and nothing will happen. If you don't use those, I can't vouch for you. And then he said, if you...
Down in L.A., just as we were about to go out the door for the very beginning, first day, he said, as soon as you throw the first fist or kick the first foot, he said, you're no longer my disciple on the spot. You may not use those. He said, furthermore, if you can use those 4 power tools that I gave you, nobody can touch you. And of course,
Wait. Sorry, let me check the Chinese here. 四大共具. How does it 四大共具 become 4 power tools? This guy's translation is too liberal. Master HsuanHua's instruction is extremely precise. You cannot take liberties with those. But anyway, at his level back then, it's not surprising.
that I gave you, nobody can touch you. And of course, I can see Marty's going, no. And then Shifu turns to me and says, well, he says, on this trip, this time, you're not going to get enlightened. But what you write may have the power to cause all kinds of people to fa puti xin, to bring forth the resolve for Bodhi. And of course, I didn't hear the second part of that sentence. All I heard was, you're not going to get enlightened on this trip. I was like, Shifu? We're what? He said, you must write. He said, any day, if you don't put your clothes on, that's not important. If you don't write, that's important. You must write every single day. Any day that you don't eat, that's not important, but you must write every day. Do you understand? It's like, okay, Shifu.
现在说你保护这个果真3不1拜呀，这是也维护这个佛教啊，你不要怕劳苦啊。你看他们是不是违法忘去啊？3不1拜，刮风也拜，下雨也拜，天热也拜，天冷也拜。
There was one time in Big Sur when this guy, we're an isolated part of Big Sur, near the lighthouse, and this Jeep pulls up, an open-top Jeep, and this guy, my job is not to look around, right? I'm just keep bowing, and so this guy was up, and I hear this ha ha ha, this crazy laugh, and this guy has got a gun pointed at my head behind me, standing up in his Jeep, and Marty goes up, hi, how you doing? Hi, we're Buddhist monks here making a pilgrimage for world peace. From Los Angeles, the city of 10,000 Buddhas, would you like a flyer? And this guy is like, uncocks his gun, drives away.
Actually, it was a 45. I knew that much. And he was very stern. He just held it like that, just right at me. And I'm thinking, okay, the 4 unlimited minds, let's see, what are they again? And what I actually did was I put my palms together and did a half bow to him. And at that, he kind of looked at me and then he released it, put it in and just drove off.
In his Jeep, yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you explain something like that? There was nobody around. It would have been, easy to wipe out the 2 monks.
他们这个拜的时候啊，就空中在他们拜那个地方它就不下雨，所以这是大家天龙八部的感应。
Oh, that's enough.
From the very beginning, it was clear that Master Hua, invisibly or sometimes,
remove this.
I take out the axe and I give it to him. I said, but Sheriff, I got to protect you. He says, I will give you a secret Dharma that you can use to protect. I thought, wow.
Can you remove this? Okay, so to recapitulate, the only tool that Master HsuanHua gave these two monks was the four unlimited minds as for their protection. Actually, there's more, but this is the main thing for this video here. So the four unlimited minds are kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, as Heng Shu translated. Okay, and that's what they have to use for their protection. Okay. So it is interesting to me that Master HsuanHua taught them that instead of the other many more tools that they could have used for their protection. Many of you know those many tools. So we've been practicing. So it's interesting that he emphasized the four unlimited minds. Okay, So the teaching of Master HsuanHua is actually, in doing that, in my humble opinion, he's paving a way for those monks to become enlightened. Because when he said, you're not going to become enlightened, he meant exactly the opposite. And by practicing these four minds of unlimited minds, okay, since day one, they're paving the way to eventually become enlightened. Okay, so this goes to prove to you, in my opinion, that the good no advisor's instruction are very, very, very subtle. That there's no way for you to understand. I don't think that today, to this date, those two realize that Master HsuanHua is actually asking them to every day contemplate the four limitless minds. Okay? Because you have to realize that it's very dangerous what they're doing. They're out there on their own, and a lot of weirdos, a lot of people who are jealous, a lot of other religious people from other religions who would be concerned about their presence and their success and so forth, and therefore they were on their toes every day, practically. And what you don't realize is that the world the invisible world is carved out as well as the visible world. For example, we have countries, we have nations, and then within this country we have states. Within states we have provinces. Okay, within provinces we have counties, and so forth. So everything is carved out. You have spheres or regions of influence, and that's why when you go anywhere, okay, you're traversing all these various regions, these various areas of influence, and you don't know how you're going to be received. Some areas, they would, I remember going with the Bodhisattva, going up north, driving up north to, I forgot the area, and on Freeway 5, off Freeway 5, and we were going off the beaten path to visit a tourist place with personal things, and we went there, and in some areas, okay, some areas they were actually coming out, standing along the road, okay, like it brings back the images of Bill Clinton going to Vietnam, and the Vietnamese government asked the people wherever Clinton's limousine was going, his Cadillac, black Cadillac, okay, was driving, from the airport to wherever the destination was. The Vietnamese government would have the Vietnamese people lining up the streets with American flags and Vietnamese flags and waving and waving and waving, okay? And that's exactly what happened. It's amazing. So that those regions are friendly to us, okay? And then some regions, actually, it's all clear. It's like they don't want to see you. Okay? So that's what happens. Some areas, they're hostile towards you. Some areas you're friendly, so you never can tell. Okay? If Master HsuanHua were to tell those two monks, they would not have dared travel for years like that. You basically are naked. You have no protection whatsoever. So interestingly, he gave them the protection. Okay, is the 4 unlimited minds. Okay, not the hands and eyes, or the mantras or other things, but 4 unlimited minds, because back then at their level, that's the best protection. They didn't have enough kung fu to be able to use the other tools in Mahayana at their disposal. So that's why. Okay? So, but more importantly, in the back of Master HsuanHua's mind, if they violated they engaged into any kind of physical altercations, then they would have failed the mission. They would have not been able to become enlightened. That's the main thing. Okay, it's kind of interesting. Yeah. So he had to explain to them as the 4 tools, and 工具 are tools. Tools you're going to have. When you listen to the video, did you hear the word weapons or not? Did you hear weapons? No? Okay, very good. Anyway, so those are the 4 tools they have at their disposal for their protection. That's the only protection they were afforded. Okay, so what are they? They are. It's funny he uses the word Chinese word 工具 tools, but for for those Caucasian monks, they probably wouldn't understand. Would it be easier for them to understand the word gongju, the power, the tools? But it beats me. I don't know why HsuanHua would use the word power tools. There's no power in there. It's absolutely no power at all. Okay? Power is actually the opposite of what those 4 unlimited minds are supposed to do. Okay? What are they supposed to do? They're supposed to be kindness. This is how they translate. This is typically how the DRBA translate these things to. They simplified it. The 4 unlimited minds as number 1 as kindness, number 2 as compassion, number 3 as joy, number 4 as HsuanHua, translated as equanimity. Let me explain to you. Okay, what those are. Okay, they are kindness is these are the 4 limitless minds in Mahayana. The mindset of the persons, the people who practice Mahayana, who follow Mahayana, should have this kind of those should have these 4 attributes. Okay. Hinayana, they don't need to do this, but Mahayana, this is what we are about. First of all, kindness. Kindness, by definition, is to give joy. You're kind when you give joy to others. Okay? So, you give joy to others. How does bowing give joy to the people, locals there? I'm not sure. Okay? It's an intrusion in their area, so an invasion. So why would why would they welcome you? Okay. Number 2, compassion. Compassion is to feel the pain of others. Okay. Others are suffering, and you feel for them. In Mahayana, it's not words, it's not a mental concept. It actually means you need to feel that pain. Say, yeah, I feel for you. No, it's not. I really know how you're feeling. That's what Mahayana is about. It's not words, it's not intellectual concepts. They know how much it hurts because they have been through it, or they know your suffering. All right, but it's not simply compassion, but it's great compassion that Mahayana stresses. Hinayana definition, Hinayana compassion is, yes, you feel the suffering. And because you feel the suffering, you try to relieve it, right? If you know, then you should try to relieve it, okay? People are suffering, people are in pain. So the human thing to do, the decent thing to do is to try to relieve it, okay? In particular, I give an example. Okay, it's so Mahayana. In particular, when people are in pain, they will bite you. They will hurt you. Because that's all they know. They need to let out the pressure. Okay, they'll do something to hurt you. And if you stand there and you take the hurt, you take the beating, you actually are helping them. They have a place, they have a means of release of their suffering that builds up the pressure inside of them. If they don't release it to you, they release it to someone else. It will hurt someone else. So in Mahayana, we know that. We say, okay, No problem. Here I am. Because a typical person, when I say like this person, like manic person, you see that person, that coming towards you, of course, the natural reaction would be to run away, right? You don't want to be near such people. Are you crazy? I'm not going near that man. Okay. But in Mahayana, we don't run away. Okay, we take it. Okay, and that is that, and that requires the ability to recover. Because these people are crazy. They're doing stupid things. They're not themselves. And therefore, in Mahayana, you can't simply talk, oh, I know how you feel. You have to take the pain yourself. Okay? They're going to hurt you. And that's why you develop the ability to recover. That's part of compassion. It's not talk. Comment.
Comment from Jewel Mountain. It's in regards to the why is the shi translated to equanimity. It says, if we just look at the last Chinese character, the literal meaning of it in the Korean Chinese dictionary is to discard, to give up, and so on. If we look at the 4 unlimited minds in Korean, they also translate shi as equanimity.
Which dictionary? When you talk about dictionary to me, I know of several types of dictionaries in Buddhist dictionaries. Not all of them are the same. Okay? And they all have different sources. They're different. They quote different sources. Some of them are actually debatable, are questionable in terms of quality, in terms of accuracy. Okay, some of them I wouldn't even use at all. Someone gave me some of those dictionaries. As soon as they have their back turned, I toss them out the window right away. This is garbage. This is an obscene distortion of Buddhism. And you call it a dictionary? Huh? So you have to give me the, I don't know which Korean dictionary you're using, but be careful. I need to understand more about Korean dictionaries before I would take them seriously. All right. So compassion. So you have kindness is the giving of joy. You see, you practice giving of joy. The compassion is you practice the taking of pain, the enduring of pain. This is very Mahayana. It's not, when I hear about Hinayana talk about compassion, they say, oh, I feel for you, I have compassion for you, and they walk their own way and, and so forth. Actually, the compassion, you go into the same trench and endure the suffering with them. The bodhisattvas would themselves become an animal, a beast of burden to bear the same pain and the burden as the animal they're trying to save themselves. Okay? They don't just stand there and say, talk, and say, oh, I have compassion for you. Okay? In Mahayana, compassion means you have to bear the pain. Help bear the pain, help bear the burden. Otherwise, it cannot be called compassion. Because when you're willing to help bear the pain right there, it brings you to your own limitations. How much suffering can you take yourself? Because every time you bear someone's burden, it saps your strength. And then the next person comes along and asks you to share the burden again. Okay? So that's why it forces us to recover very quickly. Or to bear the burden much better and recover much better. Okay? This is so Mahayana. I know the academia and the people, the Chinese people treat this as like a, if you read the definition of this, it's more like an intellectual definition. We're talking about actual practice. This is not theory. Okay? The kindness that you keep giving and giving and giving until you're so tired. And you still have to give and give and give. Is that clear? Because these are leeches. They come and suck your blood. You still have to give them. And give more. Otherwise, it's not kindness. Is it clear? If you say, there's so much I'm willing to give you, go away. Okay? Then, and it's measured kindness. It's not unlimited kindness. Okay? So that's why the actual translation that I want to use in the future for our material should be the mind of limitless kindness. That is, this mind you have here. You practice this mind where you're kind. You give joy to people. Okay? You bring joy to people's life, and you keep on bringing more and more to them, to this person, and to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, to the next living being. That's the kind of mind you have. You don't only choose to give kindness to the people you like or your own kind, white people only. No yellow, please. Or yellow only, no red, please. Okay? You give and give without discrimination. Okay? We give with equanimity. Endlessly. You don't stop. It's no measure. It's no measure in your mind. You don't say, today I'm willing to give $4 billion. That ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, extraordinary woman. Okay, he says, the last few months, 4 months, she gave away $4 or $5 billion of her fortune. She's like the richest woman in the world, worth about $60 billion. She gave $4 billion in the last 4 or 5 months. For what? To help people who need food, who are suffering. She has such big of a heart. Okay? That's compassion. She can't stand seeing people suffer like that. Okay? Extraordinary woman, extraordinary lady. Okay? So you give joy, okay, to people. You give more and more and more and more. Okay? Compassion is the same thing. You take on more pain and more suffering, more and more and more. Okay? If you do that, then, okay, limitlessly, you never have a limit to that. Then eventually, it becomes great compassion, because then their pain becomes your pain. There's no more differentiation. Okay? That's called great compassion. You're the same. If people in Africa are suffering from COVID and from the wars, okay, their suffering is our suffering. We don't stand here and say, make America, we only worry about America. Okay? That's lack of compassion. Is it clear? Question from YouTube.
Vicki asked, Master, did the monk who returned to lay life remain enlightened?
He seems to be a novice. I'll make a comment about that later. How's that? These people, you guys are always so curious, and you should not ask me questions like that. I have a very big mouth. I can't control myself. So in the future, screen these calls out and say, blacklist these people. They're tricking me into opening my big mouth. Yes, Cube.
Master, I believe they're going back to a Hinayana teaching with equanimity. I think it's called what's it called? Brahma Vihara from the Pali teachings. I think that's where they got the equanimity.
Yeah, I come to that. Very good. Absolutely. You're right. Next, joy. Okay? Joy. Joy here is your own joy. Okay? Yeah. You're happy because of good things happen to others. He became enlightened. She became enlightened. She's got a super lotto, and she's not going to give me a dime because I'm Buddhist. I'm still happy for you. And my name is, and so forth, I'm happy. It's an internal state of mind. Why? Because, can someone tell me why the Buddha taught us about this joy here? It seems so frivolous, seems so self-serving, isn't it? I mean, most of you think, joy, oh God, now I'm going to go out after this and have, I don't know, it's New Year's Eve in Korea. What are you going to have? Some barbecue? Huh? Bulgogi? Kalbi? Huh? No. This joy here is, why does the Buddha teach this? It's so interesting. Two things. Number one, when you're near a person who's joyful, how do you feel? Grouchy? Do you? She would feel grouchy. I'm so hungry, I can't stand you, so happy. This person has been fasting, and we keep on, talking about food in front of her. They can smell our food. And we're so happy. So you see, when you're joyful, in your state of joy, okay, you're happy inside, then it rubs off on others who come near you. Yes, Orange.
Well, I'm hungry and all that, but inside I have a lot of joy. I'm very happy inside. The hunger doesn't bother me.
Right. But then as soon as you break your fast, you eat with a vengeance, won't you? You plan to have all these things lined up already. Yes? Huh? You have them lined up, haven't you? Huh? Yeah, first day, first week, I will take it easy, but second week, this is my menu every day.
Yeah, I already have restaurant pick out.
Okay, very good. So the first thing is that it's very simple. It's not an intellectual thing. It's just a state of being where you're joyful, then the people close to you feel joyful, feel happy. How many people in the world are like that? Do you know? Huh? Everyone is so, unhappy and still unsatisfied about, wanting a nicer car next year, a bigger house, more babies, more better jobs and so forth, So we are, we are dissatisfied as part of in our daily lives. You always want something more and more and more and more. So there's this thirst, this hunger for more. When this person is joyful, comes to you and say, "Oh wow," it really, really very beneficial for your mental health. Okay? And the second reason is a lot less obvious, is why does the Buddha teach you about joy? Is to counter your what? Jealousy. I don't like it when a lesser monk has a bigger temple than I do, or lesser nun. It kills me inside. I say, God is not fair. He should give me a much bigger church. I kept the cross and everything, and what do I get? Okay? Deep down, in all of us, when someone we feel we have a certain rivalry with others, don't we? Your neighbors, your colleagues. Okay, you're going for the same promotion, vying for the same promotion. So deep in our mind, we have this jealousy that's very subtle. Okay? And this joy here is what will eventually kill us. Because if you don't have this joy, okay, that's the exact antidote for, say, why does he have a bigger church than I do? Why does he have, a nicer wife than I do? Why does he get a promoter and I don't? Okay? That jealousy here, very subtle, that will prevent you from becoming a better person, because no one knows. Yes, enlightened people are jealous too. Is that the next question? Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Forget that. YouTube question.
Alta-D asks, Master, what if somebody is talking so much it is eating up all your energy? What do you do then? Do you cut them out of your life, or do you bear the pain? Is it karmic debt that you need to pay off, or can you cut it out without consequences?
Someone who talks too much like me? Is it a swipe at me or what? Just kidding. What do? You endure it. It's called paying off your debts. You say, yes, honey. Yes, honey, yes. Aye, sir. Okay? Stop complaining. Be a man. All right. Does it help? So that's joy. Finally, equanimity. Okay? So the mind of limitless joy, meaning that, that you they got a promotion. You're happy. Okay, you're happy for them. And then they now got given the corner office, the one you've been coveting. You're even happy for them. Okay? And then they got an expense account. You're happy for them. And guess what? Their own secretary. You're happy for them. And you go to lunch with the boss now. You're happy for them. I know I'm asking for the impossible. You see that? That's called unlimited. Okay? You see more good things coming their way, you're happy. And more good things, you try to be happy. And so forth and so forth. That's why it's called unlimited. Because it's very challenging. Can you see that? It's so demanding. It's so exhausting. Yes, you too.
Sorry, Master. In regards to Alta-D's question, I accidentally misread it. His question wasn't, what if somebody is talking too much? He actually said, what if somebody is taking so much and eating up all his energy? What do you do then?
Here, take my wife. That's the answer. Yeah. Okay? What's wrong with you Asians? Really, English is so clear. Anyway, got that? Okay, the joy thing. Limitless, you give it, hey God, give me a bigger church. And then the next, a bigger one. Yeah. You should work on your joy thing. Okay, number 4. Okay, equanimity. Wrong. It's not equanimity. Remember a few minutes ago I asked which dictionary you use? And what is their source of reference of the dictionary? In Buddhism, the Chinese have a very excellent, most excellent dictionary called Guāng Dà Cí Diǎn, the great dictionary from our colleagues in Xilai right there. Okay, it's very exhaustive. It's has the print version I have I believe 8 volumes with index. Okay, 8 volumes. In Chinese, tiny Chinese characters. You have to, in my age, you have to look at with a magnifying glass. And so that usually has the best references because it references so many books and sutras and shastras, you name it. They're very scholarly. So it's like a bunch of scholars, like 1,000 of them got together and you say, hey, for this is where the sutra says, this is what it says, this is what that says. Okay, so it's very, very exhaustive. So I looked up the definition of she in that dictionary. Okay, that's my go-to dictionary. And it says, yes, it's equanimity. And I could see on your face, I said, you were screwed up. And then I read on. Yes, it's equanimity. And then I read on the quote, equanimity comes from the Agama Store. You know what Agama Store is? Hinayana. That's what the Hinayana people are taught, equanimity. And because, of course, the scholars would not understand Mahayana. So they would quote something that they can identify with, they can understand. The scholars can understand Hinayana, but they cannot understand Mahayana. Okay? So that's why they quoted she as equanimity because from Agama Store is equanimity. But for us, Mahayana, okay, I submit to you there's no equanimity. Okay? First of all, I don't know what the Pali word is or the original Pali term or Sanskrit term. I don't know what that is. Okay? But I look at the Chinese term here. I'm no Sanskrit expert, so I don't know. My reference is Chinese character here. Okay? Yes, Blue. No? We're still working on it. Okay? Check your Sanskrit sources. Okay. This Chinese character here has a few meanings. It has to let go, to give away, let go in a giving away sense. Okay, I let go as a gift to you, as ceding to you, as yielding to you. That's the first meaning. Second meaning is to separate from, distance yourself from. Okay. Also related in meaning. You share, meaning you know, you share your loved ones. You go to the airport and you cry a little bit, but I let go of you. You go on your trip, but come back to me. Okay, there's that thing, you know, where I can release you. Okay, release you, let go of you. And the most important meaning in Buddhism that includes the first two is to drop it, to renounce it. Okay? Now, from the dictionary, from a Chinese terms alone, where do you see equanimity in those meanings? I don't. Okay, so I quote to you from my perspective, from a language perspective, it's not equanimity. Granted that the Agama Store says equanimity is fine, okay, but I learned it from the Chinese Dharma, okay, from a Chinese master who says, "Sure." You heard it on the video yourself. He said, "Sure." Okay? That's number one. So for us, from my perspective, it's not equanimity, but it's renunciation. Renunciation includes equanimity. Equanimity is too small. Renunciation is much bigger. And that's worthy of Mahayana. Mahayana, we like big things. Okay? The bigger the better. Okay? So, is to renounce. Okay? To renounce what? What are we renouncing? If you understand the word renouncing, then you understand why it's not equanimity. Why it includes equanimity. Why do you renounce? What does renounce mean? What are you renouncing? Black.
A Di Đà Phật. Thưa thầy, là cái từ bi hỷ, tức là như mình thương chúng sinh là mình làm những chuyện đó, thì trong đó cũng có mình nữa. Dịch đi.
Master, when we talk about kindness, compassion, And joy is mean that we love beings and then we are included in beings.
Thì như cái ngày Linh Hộ giảng cách đây mình 4 năm bữa nay mình học ngày Linh Hộ đó. Thì cuối cùng Ngài mới kết luận là tốt hay xấu, sắc hay không đều là Như Lai là như cái không đó hết à. Như Ngài Huệ Năng nói với Bổn Lai như bậc đó, bỏ hết, kể cả mình cũng bỏ, mà kể cái bỏ tôi cũng bỏ luôn nữa. Như vậy thôi, thật sự không có cái gì hết đó. Xả là xả như vậy đó.
Similar to Master Guāng, he said that whether it's good or bad, in the end it's just empty. It's dust. So there's nothing in there, and then you have to let go of it.
Okay, very good. Green.
It's one renounce to the self.
Renouncing yourself. Very good. Anyone else? YouTube has answer.
Jewel Mountain says maybe the 3 poisons or oneself.
Renouncing yourself, 3 poisons. Very good. Green.
Renouncing without hesitation.
Renouncing what?
Without hesitation, renouncing like everything.
Renouncing everything.
Without hesitation.
Can you do that? Can you renounce your God?
No.
I can renounce my Buddha.
I
Serious.
cannot renounce God.
I renounced my master already. I keep on bad-mouthing him.
I mostly mean like renouncing everything that...
Except for God.
Except for God. You cannot renounce
Then
God.
it's not renunciation. Renunciation, you renounce everything. Nothing is exempt, including Buddha. You renounce Buddha as well. I'm working on it. I started by renouncing my teacher. I'm getting more confident more and more every day because there's no negative reaction yet. Okay? It's not renunciation. If you exempt something, that is not renunciation. That's why take my wife. It's renunciation right there. And I take another wife, and I take this one too. Love the wives. Yes.
Life. Like
renouncing your life?
Yes.
That too, absolutely.
Good. Okay, I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay? Including the Buddha. You have to renounce the Buddha too.
I agree with that, kidding.
Yeah, that too. We Buddhists are crazy. We renounce everything inside. Okay? YouTube.
W.Y. Sunim says attachments.
Exactly. Okay? We renounce every single attachment. If you attach to eating, you have to renounce that. You attach to money, you have to renounce it. Give all your money to the temple. My temple in particular. Okay? We do take wires. If you have a nice red car, give it to me as well. The old cars go to, PBS. Okay, boats go to them. Yachts, us. Airplanes, no, too expensive, upkeep. Okay, so you renounce. Okay, because you renounce things that are hard for you to renounce. How many people can renounce your wives? Except for Rodney. Huh? I'm asking you, serious. He's a superior being. Dangerfield. Take my wife, please, take my wife, please, take my wife, please. Yeah. Take my son, take my daughter. This is when the production support team behind the scene would have a video clip. Within a few minutes, says, take my wife, please, take my wife. Okay, got that? It's called teamwork for a reason. Okay, the Koreans would think that we are Americans are so crazy. Yes, we are crazy. Okay, so when you cannot renounce, that's at that very moment, that's when you realize that you have an attachment to that. You cannot let go. That's what the Dharma is so beautiful, because you keep on renouncing this. I renounce, the Buddha renounced his throne. He renounced his lovely wife who was pregnant with the first child. Okay? He renounced his parents. Don't have to be filial anymore. Losers. Okay? He renounced what? I don't know. He renounced his attendance. He renounced eating. Eating until he's full. He renounced talking about eating. He renounced bread. Good bread. I don't know how he could do on earth he could do that. Cheese. Getting more difficult. So anyway, so and the things you find hard to renounce are your deep-seated attachments. That's what's so beautiful about it. If you say equanimity, compare the equanimity. You want to give me a car? Okay. You want to give the car to someone else? Okay. You want to give me a boat? Okay. You don't need to renounce anything, right? So that's the difference. Right? But when you renounce your wife, then you can renounce the next wife as well. And the next one. Okay? So renouncing has equanimity in it, built in. Does it make sense? It's a much, much deeper Mahayana Dharma than equanimity. Equanimity is a different kind of application. But if you want to become enlightened, top tier, then you practice renunciation. Equanimity is, see that? That's the difference, boys and girls. So if any of you ever use the word, the mind of limitless equanimity, I will slap you in the face. It's not Mahayana Dharma. Is that clear? We are Mahayana. We don't do that. We don't do equanimity. We do renunciation. And you will not find this in any dictionary, by the way. Okay? Questions? Are we happy? Okay. I'm surprised, by the way, that no one in Korea ever complained about equanimity. I looked at the word equanimity, I really was flabbergasted. I said, we are Mahayana, we don't do equanimity. That's not us. I would never use that word. Never. Yes, Blue.
Master, when you You use the word equanimity. I guess you think of it as meaning like indifference.
Yeah, indifference is all the same to me.
But isn't there an element like you can't arrive at equanimity if you don't practice renunciation?
Yeah, renunciation is much deeper than equanimity.
Obtain that.
Much deeper.
If you have attachment, you're not going to have.
That's why, yes, you can become enlightened at lower level in equanimity, but higher level equanimity is not going to take you there. That's the problem. That's why we do Ling You's Dharma, we do Wei Yang's Dharma. We don't do the small stuff. Okay? Anything else? Yes.
So what do you mean by joy? What kind of joy are you talking about when you say joy?
Joy is
the
that...
mind of limitless joy.
Let me explain that to you. It's very personal. When someone gets a bigger temple than I do, I force myself, yes, I'm happy for you. That's called joy. I'm still working on it. That's my point. You understand the point? The point I'm making, I know it's funny, it sounds funny, it sounds clownish, but there's a reason for that. It's not natural. We're jealous. I know I'm jealous. I hate it. These lesser people, they have so many temples. Don't do anything with them. So I said, I'm happy for you. But in the future, I have more. I hope they'll be happy for me then. Okay. You see, it's a work in progress. The joy is a lot more difficult than it sounds. It's like so frivolous, right? You're happy, you're joyful. No. You pretend to be joyful. Because we Mahayana. You can't be jealous. Because we know. We're envious. No one else knows. You see that? And if that joy is not authentic, is not spontaneous, then you know that you're low level. You understand? We're talking about high level Mahayana, low level. Low level is that, they give you some nice food to eat at lunch and so forth. That's low level, it's nothing. It's when it gets to temples that cost more and more and more, that makes it more difficult. You see that? It's real. Yes, question.
Jewel Mountain asks, when does jealousy end?
Oh, sooner than you think. Yes, green, yeah, thank you.
Okay, Master, I'm assuming the joy that here you're mentioning is the term that we normally say to accord with. I'm making that assumption. Along with the example that you just gave, like you said, oh, you got a bigger temple, I'm so upset, but I'm saying, oh, I'm happy for you. Isn't that lying? Then if you're doing that, are you lying, or how does it work?
Good question. That's the end of the questioning for you tonight. Let's understand each other. Is it clear? No more. Do not give her the microphone anymore. This is very personal attack, and I deserve it. Yeah, for exposing my dirty laundry, my dirty underwear. Okay, as we have a saying in Asia, in Vietnamese, yeah, who asks you to expose your underwear. So when I see, I can't give an example because when I don't know what you are envious about. Okay, I know I'm envious about temples. Okay, for us it's like a macho thing, you know, like. For most people, like the thickness of the wallet, okay? But for me, it's the size of the temple. So the point I'm trying to make was that we each have our own demons that gnaws at us, you know? Look, you know? Look at them. They live in such a beautiful temple and they know nothing. Okay? Kills me. So how do I deal with that? It's a fair question. It sucks, but it's a fair question. Okay? I admit I'm envious. Okay? But how can I possibly say I'm happy for you? Easy, very easy. I teach you a secret now, my secret. Okay? Just my secret, okay? Because you have to practice doing this. You have to be truthful to yourself. When you say, I'm happy for you, I didn't say, I'm 100% happy for you, did I? Most of the time it's 1%, and the 99% I go back home and say, When the Bodhisattva help me become less jealous of this monk and that nun. You see that? And that's my Dharma. It's better than nothing. 1% is still better than nothing. At least you guys are not willing to admit it. I'm admitting that I'm 99% jealous. You have no jealousy, right? You have zero jealousy, right? Zero. I have 99%. Any other questions? That joy thing is very, very difficult to practice. Trust me. You pick yourself, you ask yourself, am I being truthful? You say, yeah, 1%. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Blue, green, whatever.
So, to what you're saying is that, for example, there's going to be obstructions. I'm going to take the body talk a little bit. So there could be obstructions that will prevent us from achieving joyfulness, but we have to work on it until we achieve that joyfulness.
Yeah, you keep at it. The point is, it's a work in progress. Remember, I know 1%. Okay, but then the 99% is when I go to the advertisement. I'm warning you. Okay, Great Compassion Repentance. Our Great Compassion Repentance at the end of the month. You say, "Oh, One Bodhisattva, Only Home, please help me reduce my jealousy to 98%." Please, you know, and then, you know, that's why you keep working on it. The point being that unless you know there's a problem, how are you going to fix it? If you keep on saying, no, I'm not jealous. I'm so happy for you. Honest to God, how are you going to fix the problem? Did you have a question? Orange?
Comment. It seems that I think we've kind of went over this, but the renunciation seems to be underpin the other three. So, I mean, the amount of kindness, compassion, and joy that you can express is limited by your attachments that you haven't renounced yet. Because I can see that if I try to be kind in certain ways, I can see you're going to run across a brick wall at some point. Trying to be compassionate and feel people's pain at some point, I'm going to get tired and maybe angry. I don't know. There's something that's going to come up. I can see all these things being limited by my attachments until I let them go.
There's a dharma behind it. You need to see your limitations. And you have to push the envelope. That's what this dharma is about. That's why, unless you push the envelope, you're not going to ascend to the highest stratospheres. You have to push yourself. That's why it's so beautiful. It's why it's called limitless. Because you know your limits, but then you push yourself. Go beyond that, go beyond that, go beyond that. Even more, even more, even more. Endlessly. That's the process. This refers to a process. This is what those two people in the video didn't realize. Okay? If I were writing the journals, I would have said that, 4 unlimited minds, and today I have this problem. I'm not kind enough to ants, mosquitoes. See what I mean? I read the journals, by the way, once. I don't see the struggle. The 4 unlimited minds is the Dharma that's supposed to show your limitations. Let you gauge your own limitations. How kind are you really? Huh? Can you be kinder? How compassionate are you? Can you even be more compassionate? How jealous are you? Stop disguising your jealousy, for God's sake. In the temples, by the way, monks and nuns are victims of jealousy. Just like you in organization, in your companies, you're victims of your peers' jealousy. Yes or no? We're talking about life here, real lives. It's not theory. Imagine yourself at work. You don't realize the things that jostling and the pushing and pulling behind the scenes in the companies. I saw it. I saw in the temple, and then I moved to the temple. And said, oh, this is a pure place, Pure place for superior people, enlightened people. So damn jealous. And the problem is that these enlightened people are so jealous and they're so enlightened that they disguise it so well. It's not supposed to be funny. Comment.
Brady says, jealousy as a poison seems to be easy to avoid.
No, my friend. It's very hard. I'm still working on my 97th. After all these years, it still kills me. It's very personal. I don't know what yours are, but mine is temples. I pretend to say the red car, but no, it's temples. As a disguise, you see, I love to have a red car. No, I love to have a bigger temple. There you have it. My lack of joy in life. So yes, these are. It's a work in progress. You keep at it. You keep at it, and that's. You keep doing that. It really becomes unlimited. If you disguise it, if you fake it, then it will never have a chance. Then you are stuck below. Okay? I don't want you to be stuck like me. Okay? Don't be like me, is the moral of the story. Renunciation, renunciation. So it gets, it gets harder and harder. Just talk, that's be honest. Just the first two, kindness, compassion. How many monks you think are really kind, are really compassionate that you know of? I know of one. That's it. I only know of one. You know that? One live person I talk to, he's truly kind, truly compassionate. That's only one. All the others, nowhere near. That's what impressed me, is that one person is head and shoulders above everyone else that I've ever talked to. Okay? So you have this kindness and compassion here, and this joy here. Okay, it's a very, very challenging thing, because yourself only know. You know yourself, no one else does. So it's very easy to disguise it, to pretend that, and so forth. And that's where you get tripped. You're tripping yourself. You're too smart for your own good. Renunciation is ultimately is what you're going to help you become a Buddha. And bodhisattvas can do first three, but number 4 is very critical for high levels. Okay? Does it help? You see the difference? The difference in this translation to this. You see how much is lost in translating this into kindness, compassion, joy, and even equanimity, never mind, even renunciation. It doesn't explain to you in this translation what is lost is the limitless. It tells you a process of cultivation that those two didn't get. Can you see it now? That's why with that instruction, unfortunately, Master HsuanHua didn't explain it to them like I explained it to you. So if any of you wants to sign up for a pilgrimage, you can register with our secretary here, the white-haired lady. Before Roberta is the only one. Yeah, now you're the only one. Yeah, you're her replacement. Oh. Yes, dear. Okay? It's beautiful. What he taught them is incredible. Master HsuanHua doesn't give them small stuff. Okay? So, Korea is so quiet. Do you have any problems, Korea? Any questions? Huh? Are you happy? New Year's Eve? That's my New Year's Eve gift for you. New Year's gift for you. All the way from the US. Okay? My jealousy. You guys have so many good things going for yourself. You know how bad it was for us at Blue Mountain Temple? Look at how nice a floor you have. Huh? Yeah. Good lighting, everything. Hey, yeah, I'm jealous of you. You got it too easy, huh? Too Korean. Comment. Okay, let me have it.
Jewel Mountain says, they said they were happy with everything.
Very good. Okay, go back to the video. Let me look at that white boy again. Freeze! It looks so comical. Look at that. Look at that. Such a clown. He's a good guy. So what was the question again earlier? I forgot what the question was.
He says, I will give you a secret Dharma that you can use to protect. I thought, wow.
He's got to be the most lonely man in the world, sitting there watching the ocean, say, oh Lord, why me? These losers, hippies, homeless people, you know. Look at that. This is so appropriate. You don't know how it feels like. What it's like to be like this.
From the beginning, where the first day before we began at GoHuil Monastery in LA, Master Hua told him, okay, as a Dharma protector, he said, you may not use your fists or your feet. You may not use your martial arts. And Marty's a black belt in Taekwondo and other things. He said, as soon as you throw the first punch or the first kick, you are no longer my disciple. And so Marty had actually considered putting a hatchet.
No, I did.
He had a hatchet.
I had an axe.
In his bag.
When we were planning this, we were in the monastery in the back. I was still a layman, he was a monk. So my idea of this pilgrimage is, something out of, living in the wild, back to nature. And so I go on and get all this really good sleeping bags, the latest titanium cooking ware with the stove and all this sort of things. And I bring it in, and we're in the back room and we're planning. And Hung Shui's going, oh, that looks good, that's great, it's good. And then Master Hua comes in and he looks at it, what are you doing? Well, we're getting ready for the pilgrimage. He says, nah, you should take anything that nobody wants. Don't take anything that anybody would even turn an eye second. Oh, yeah. So we didn't. Got all this great stuff. I would say within the 4th week of the pilgrimage, it was all gone. So all those.
Okay, so what was the question again? Anyone remembers? About white boy? I forgot. Oh, somebody listen. Huh? Was he enlightened? Sorry, what? Did he remain enlightened when he enlightened? Oh, that was a question. Oh God, that's a tricky question. You see any difference between the two of them? One has a beard and one doesn't, but other than that, what's the difference? Close your eyes. Don't open your eyes. Take a look and then close your eyes. Any difference? This is this video was made recently, right? This year. Use those 4 unlimited minds. Which one is kinder? Which one is more compassionate? Which one has more joy? which one has more equanimity. That's what Master HsuanHua taught both of them. You can't tell? Heng Shuo. Heng Shu. It's not Heng Shuo. They call themselves Heng Shuo, but the actual name is Heng Shu. I use Master HsuanHua's name. I don't care what they call themselves. Anyone else? First of all, Master HsuanHua never said that Dr. Van Hoven was enlightened. He never said that. So I don't have to answer the question. Okay? But in general, whether you're a lay person or a left-form person, you can become enlightened. It's not a big deal. It has nothing to do with your status, whether you're civilian or professional like us. It's no difference. There's no discrimination at all. If you have the capacity, you'll be taught. That's all. But this guy mellowed down a lot. This is a rock star here in our world. He's very famous. Okay. The monk is very famous. This guy is also pretty big as well because he's established in his world, academia. He's very intellectual and he has a pretty high level of samadhi as well. And so these people are really outstanding people. We should be proud to have them. Okay, it's not easy to have to reach their levels. But I kind of like this guy. He's kind of buffoon, but I kind of like him. He has a weakness. I don't know why Master HsuanHua didn't help him fix it. Because if he fixed that problem, he would surpass him. Few years would surpass him. But he has this problem, glaring problem. I don't know why Master HsuanHua didn't help fix it for him. And send him to get a PhD to me, It's not going to help this problem. But he has a lot of potential. Okay. To me, I don't know why he never developed these people. I don't believe he prefers monks over lay people. That is irrelevant. Okay, it doesn't matter. If you have potential, then you will be trained, you'll be taught. Okay, I'm saying that this guy potential is very, very good. Okay, but there is an obstruction that I don't know why his teacher never helped him address that. Okay? That these are superior individuals. All right, time is up. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.